All right, Real TF. Today we got an awesome special guest from the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Washington,
Yeah.
Austin Robertson. This man dominates agent referrals, and if there's ever been a guest that I'm actually most excited about, that shit I might actually learn something from, it's Austin. I've been following him a while. He's somebody that is just a genuine, real person, and is big on building relationships and just does that extra 5% that makes the difference between being good and great. And without further ado, man, Austin Robertson, how we doing, bro?
Dude, good. And I'm super happy to be here. I'm super excited. This is actually a topic that I'm really passionate about because I get so many questions. People are always reaching out to me and wanting to know, like, hey, how did you get to this place, or what did you do? And so it was only about a month ago that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start telling people what I did. It was never like a secret that I wanted to keep or anything, but really more or less just I never really thought about putting it all together and creating this roadmap to share. So I did create a little roadmap. So I'm going to share it with you guys today. And the really cool thing about, I think, Agent Referrals is like anyone can do it. It doesn't really cost you any money at all. And you're completely linked with your tribe throughout the entire process. So there's a certain element of, in my opinion, like it's a beautiful thing to me. So let me see if I can get my slideshow here to pop up.
I gotcha.
Okay. Can you see me okay? Can you see everything okay?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let's just start this off. Let's go back to actually about this time of year. 1994.
Okay.
Good time.
94.
I'm a little one. But by the way, guys, if you have any questions or comments, or you want to make fun of my hair or whatever, just like put that in the comments. We'll get back to you like at the end of this. I'll definitely have some time for questions there at the end. But it's 1994. I'm outside. It's a spring day in the Midwest. I've got my basketball. I'm out playing with a couple of the kids in the neighborhood. They were a couple of years younger than me, and I would always smoke them. Just, if you can imagine, I'm 2 feet taller, basically. I come up on them, I back up into them, I turn around, fade away, and I would shoot the ball, swish every time. And every time I would say the same exact name. Can you guess what it was, Jason?
Jordan or something, probably.
Yeah. It was Jordan. It was absolutely Jordan.
Yeah. Tongue out, hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. The whole thing. And here's the thing is, at that time, at 6 or 7 years old, being 2 feet taller than the neighbor kids, hitting a fadeaway jumper, in my little mind, do you think I actually thought I was Michael Jordan?
Probably did, yeah.
I fucking did.
Yep.
I did. I thought I was actually as good as Michael Jordan.
Yep.
And guys, that's what I've got to tell you right now about the real estate market of the pandemic. A lot of you guys came in during the pandemic and you were playing against 4-year-olds and you were dunking on the hoop and you thought, damn, I'm as good as Michael Jordan. When really you were on a 4-foot hoop playing against little kids. And it set us up to fail because now the market has changed. And I think you can really see that you were probably wrong about how you felt about yourself.
Yep.
And now you're actually at the NBA. You're actually standing in front of LeBron James and AD, and they're going to crush you. And it's been a very hard adjustment in reality for a lot of people. And so Agent Referrals is one way that I really believe that you can get ahead when you don't have the same money to spend as the big agents and when there's less opportunities. So let's truck on to the next slide here. So who am I? So my name is Austin Robertson. Obviously, I serve the Tacoma, Seattle market. I have a team, the Titus Robertson Group. Built a big team up to several hundred transactions in the Midwest.
Homemakes Gans great again. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to say again.
I don't know what that was about. So my mission and why I'm wanting to hold this class with Jason here is, if you think about one of my favorite movies, which is Bad Boys, right? they always bust in some house, and Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are going in there, and there's always bad guys, and they're just like spraying guns, and they're shooting up everything, and they never hit anybody. The one thing we can guarantee is that Martin Lawrence is going to duck behind something, and he's going to yell at Will Smith for some shit that he did, right? But they never actually did anything. They're just spraying and playing. And I think that's really like how the education of the real estate world has been over the past few years. We're just so inundated with so much shit, and it's overwhelming, and then we do nothing. So that said, I want you guys to be more like a sniper who sits on the roof for a few hours, doesn't eat, doesn't drink, doesn't take a piss. He just sits there until a shot lines up, and then boom. So I want to encourage you to quit reading 100 books and start reading one page 100 times. And that's why I like to do these classes. So I'm going on my 5th year of real estate. Overall, approaching 1,000 transactions. Married, I've got 5 kids. I like to work out and drink whiskey. And then there's my little QR code there. So if you ever want to talk to me or get any of my plans or anything, you can just scan that, and it comes right to me. So I'm more than happy to hook up with you and connect later.
I'm going to scan it.
Do it. Hurry. All right. So what are we going to talk about today? So we're going to talk about the pillars of our business and how we pick those out. We're going to talk about selecting the right network to dominate agent referrals. We're going to talk about an action plan on how we're going to get and handle referrals. Then how we're going to own that process. And lastly, how we're going to use continued celebrity to get those over and over and over again. This is Miss Norma. She's a referral that came to me out in Bellevue. If you don't know, Bellevue is one of the most expensive cities in the entire United States. She came to me by way of an agent in Alaska. And Miss Norma right here, her one transaction that was handed to me was enough money to pay my mortgage for an entire year. So definitely a lead source that I hope you guys are already seeing some value in. All right. So picking your pillars, so what are pillars, right? So first of all, if you think about like an old Southern home, and Jason, you're down south now, so you see these. They're these big wraparound porches, and they have these big overhangs. And there's usually like 4 or 5 or 6 of these pillars that are holding every single thing up. Okay. There's not 40 of them, and they don't change every 15 minutes.
Right.
They're put in place, they're selected strategically, and they're carried out. So having pillars of your business is super important. It's going to be the places that you're actually dedicated to investing your time, energy, and effort into to pulling business from. So how many should you have? I think realistically, probably 4 to 6 is plenty, especially if you're newer in the industry. Jason, would you kind of agree that's probably?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, we just talked about this on lead sources. You know, you got to have multiple pillars or legs. Obviously, if you have a one-legged chair, you know, it's going to tip over, right? So more pillars, the better, really.
Right. So what are mine? So for me personally, agent referrals actually is my largest income earning source. Second is my Sphere and SOI. And honestly, a lot of you guys are dropping the ball on that. And if you're dropping the ball on that, agent referrals is going to be really hard to do too. Just heads up. And then number 3 for me is YouTube. So YouTube creates a lot of business for me. And then number 4 is ZBuyer for seller leads. And number 5, social media in general. And you're really not going to see me ever going outside of those lines. Those are kind of my pillars. I've gotten really good at them. Those are ones I stick with. So agent referrals, like I've said, the reason why I think they're such a great pillar is you can do it when you don't have a ton of money. It actually increases your visibility in the real estate world. And you're not, it's like a Sphere handoff. Like you already have built-in trust. So it doesn't get a lot easier than that, you know, having that element in there for you. So those are some pillars I think you should think about and kind of establish. Now, the first thing that whenever you're looking for how I'm going to get agent referrals is you have to have a place to get them from. So you have to have a lead source. And you can't be everywhere. Like I do get tagged occasionally in like lab code agents or like real estate mastermind group. Like I don't spend a lot of energy in there, so I don't get a lot out of it. Like that's something you kind of see for yourself too, Jason?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it gets pretty inundated. It gets pretty flooded out in those places.
So for me personally, my brokerage is Real Broker. I picked the Real Broker Referral Central group to be the place that I am going to get my referrals from.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, establish where you're going to get them from. You have to find a tribe somewhere. So there are a few ways you can do this. One is a niche. So are you really big on divorce listings? Are you really big on probate? What's something that you do all the time? Are you a condo person? Like, you can use a niche to get agent referrals. For example, a really big one. I have an agent in my sandbox at Real that does like 60 transactions a year, and they're almost all agent to agent referrals through the military. Mm-hmm. Like, she's got a military base in her group or in her town. She's connected with other military, so they go back and forth. Another option is your brokerage. So for me, obviously Referral Central for Real. And back when I was at EXP, I did the same thing inside of EXP. I just became kind of that guy at EXP, right? And then number 3 could be your coaching company. So right here, like, are you diving in right here and connecting with people and meeting other people inside of this coaching company to where you could establish yourself as that guy for, Realty AF. Like, you don't need to own everything. You just need to own a little bit of something, right? Bite of the watermelon, not a whole grape. That's the way I put it. Just pick some place. And over here, this is something I should have pointed out. I didn't put this out in my last class, so someone told me to talk about it. But I do respond to every time I get tagged with a personalized video. And yes, it does take forever. Yes, it's exhausting, but people really do feel loved on whenever you do that.
So I want to touch on that real quick, if I can interject. So one of the things that I remember the most, I think it was New Year's Day or maybe Christmas Day or something like that. I think it was New Year's. You had sent me a personalized New Year's video.
Yep.
And nobody else did that. You're the only person, and obviously that sticks out for obvious reasons. But I just want to shed some light on the fact that you just did something that nobody else was willing to do.
Yeah, that literally chills all up and down my arms now. Thank you. I was the only one, man. Like, yeah. So I mean, and I'll tell you, that's not an easy task. I probably spent 3.5 hours.
Yep.
Upstairs. I made a list of people that are important to me, both other agents and past clients. Like, I narrowed that down. Like, not every person on the planet is getting a video.
Sure.
That is personalized. And here's the thing, in my opinion, if you send me a non-personalized video, I almost get kind of offended by it. Like,
yeah,
all you got to do is say my name, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to watch this. But it makes people feel really special if you will just take 30 seconds and thank them, right?
Yep.
The law of reciprocity will come into play. Nate tags me like 15 times a day and stuff, even on groups I don't get involved in, because I just constantly am, loving on him for taking good care of me. Yeah,
Nate, he's obviously in our similar market here, and he's getting to be the guy like yourself. He seems like to be mimicking kind of some of your actions and whatnot, and he's always tagged, and when we were a part of Real, I remember seeing his name quite a bit, obviously down here. So it's definitely back for sure.
He does a really good job with it for sure. So here's going to be the biggest takeaway of everything. Agents are the exact same as your clients. You have to start treating agents just like they are one of your, I don't use the word past clients or my clients forever, but for a lot of people, we'll just say past clients. It's your past clients. Like Nate, for example. Nate gets dripped on. Nate gets emails from me. Nate gets phone calls where I'm calling him and just checking in. Like, the exact same plan I run for my clients, I run for the agents that I expect to take care of me. So you got to identify your advocates. First of all, who is going to stand up for you? Who's going to stand out for you? Here's a little group of some of my advocates all together being weird in an empty room. I don't know why.
Recognize a few of them guys.
But, identify your advocates. Who's going to be there for you, or who do you want to make your advocate? You need to build out your plan in your CRM. I know everyone just went like a total cringe, because I know, as someone who's been a real estate coach for quite a while and runs a team, that a lot of you don't use your CRM the way you're supposed to. So you need to build out a plan for your agent connections inside of your CRM. And you need to, actually do it. It's not that hard. A quarterly phone call, a monthly text, an email here and there. One thing that I do for a lot of my agents is I send them a monthly email newsletter. It's very similar to the one I send to my clients. I send them via email. And it's not really about the real estate market in Seattle or Tacoma. It's really more about things that are going on here. And I'll tell you, honestly, it's just enough for someone to see Austin Robertson dash Seattle real estate newsletter for them to be like, oh yeah, Austin. I don't even care if they open it. Frankly, I do have over a 60% open rate on those emails. So people do open them, which is weird. Like, Jason, no offense, but like if I'm in Florida, I don't really care that there's, you know, a cool concert going on in Auburn, Washington. Like I don't need the time to read that.
Right.
They see it over and over and over again that it goes in.
Top of mind.
Top of mind, exactly. Another thing that I like to say is like start effectively using social media for this, right? So for your plan of attack to get referrals. So this is part of how I do that. So I'm going to go over a few examples here of things that I do. So right here is Tammy Price, who's one of my big advocates down in San Antonio. Someone got this wild picture of her just like screaming, I guess, at this poor girl, or maybe she's amping her up. I don't know if someone's going to die or if they're having a good day. But I just put, trying to bring this Tammy Price energy into my week. You know, it sounds weird and it's little, but just mentioning them in something, hey, I'm thinking about you, goes a really long way.
Yep.
What we're doing right now, here's a live event on StreamYard next to that with Matt and Cass. Matt's in the Bay Area, Cass is in Vancouver. Yep. This is a really easy one. Like right now, if you think about me and Jason doing this, Jason's a coach, right? For his business in particular, he has me on here. I'm doing all the talking. All he's got to do is interject a couple of times, maybe ask a question, but I feel special because I'm here, right? So it goes really a long way to go live with people and let them show off and talk and just give them a platform. And this one here, this is a Zoom call that we did. And you can see Maya here has Maya, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Something as simple as making your Zoom name your location is another little reminder of where you're at all the time. And that's like a one-time deal. So super easy. This one here is basically just invoking the law of reciprocity. So, I'll return the favor when something pops up in the neck of or in your neck of the woods, or, hey, Jason, just saw, a possible buyer down in Florida. I tagged you in it. Here's the link. I know you'll do the same for me when something pops up in Seattle. Yeah. Like, again, a constant reminder. And then a full-on freaking brag post. So I do these once a month. I take one agent out of my network and I full-on go emotional. Like everything they've done for me, how they take care of me, how they take care of other people, how they show up. And I pour my heart out genuinely. So what you're seeing is a lot of this is just making people feel special. Yep. And showing that you care. So those are some options you have as far as some things you can do via social media. Let's go back here. And the last thing on here I have is take advantage of live events. So I have one event last year that I can legitimately trace 17 closed transactions back to. Wow. From referrals from just last year alone. Now I know like in this market, money's a little bit tighter for a lot of people. So we're not quite as adept to be out spending money, but did the $4,000 spent on the event, was it more or less than 17 closed transactions in the Seattle market? It was a hell of a lot less, right? So
I know your average sale price, so
right, exactly. So I would say easily pick 2 events a year, and I want them to be targeted around your group that you selected for your agent referral. So if it was, let's say you were a Tom Ferry coaching member, or you were a probate agent, find events that match those things. If you're coaching with Jason and Jason holds an event, like that needs to be one of the events you go to. And then if he doesn't have another one, you need to find another one that's close enough to the same group of people, and you need to go to that. Here's a fun thing I do whenever I go to these events. I refuse to wear my name tag. I actually always I bring a bunch of Seattle and Tacoma stuff. So Mariners jerseys, Sonics t-shirts. I've got a bunch of t-shirts to come with brass knuckles and stuff on them. And like, I will wear that until someone calls me and says, oh, hey, the Seattle guy. And then once someone has named me by where I'm at, I'll put the tag on. And then you can know my name. But I always want to be associated directly with where I'm from. So if you go to an event, throw your San Francisco 49ers jersey on, throw on your, whatever it is that is tied into wherever, you're at. It just makes people think, makes them remember. Another thing with live events is you're never going to, this might be faux pas for the real estate world. And I apologize to everyone in every leadership platform. Oh my God. You're never going to find me in a breakout session.
Yep.
I will go to every main event. I will be in there, and I generally want to learn. I want to be part of it. When everybody else goes to a breakout session, I'm in the hallway. And I'm always waiting to meet somebody. About a year ago, Jordan Savage out of Chicago, I almost threw a refrigerator door into her face. She came out of the bathroom, came around the corner. I opened the door to get a soda, and I almost hit her square in the mouth. And we sat and talked in that hallway for probably 25 minutes.
Sure.
And she's been responsible for me picking up like 4 or 5 referrals this year.
Right.
So from almost trauma to income, right? But being out in the hallway at a lot of events gives you an opportunity to, really connect with people when everyone else is super busy. And it's hard at those big events to get one-on-one time. So I found that's a really big opportunity for us there. Jason, do you do anything at events that you found that kind of helps you garner those relationships?
Well, I mean, we just did that just recently. We had our LPT event here in St. Pete last month, and same thing. I didn't go to any of the breakout sessions, and it was kind of a unique event because it was held right at the St. Pete Grand Prix IndyCar race. So there was a little bit of extra time for lunch and things between times. So we were able to walk downtown St. Pete, and we were able to go to lunch with some other people. And a lot of the people that weren't going to breakout sessions were who we also wanted to connect with, So there's quite a bit of that. So I agree 1,000% with you. That's, and it isn't for everybody. Certain people that go to events maybe need to go to the breakout sessions, but so you don't want to hate on that if you're that guy or girl that no one wants to go to that stuff. But like you said, there's opportunity, to have those conversations. And obviously what you're creating, what you're doing is based on conversations, relationships. So, it's fascinating about a lot of this stuff. And it's something that I say often, and whether it's something I'm coaching or something I'm talking about or posting about, like there's nothing profound in this business. There's nothing profound in what it is that you're doing. It's fundamental basic stuff, and you have a plan around it. And like you said, you're not writing, or you're not taking a book and reading it 100 times. You're taking one book, reading one page 100 times. And I made a post today, I don't know if you saw it or not, about AI and artificial intelligence and Chat GPT and GPT-4 and all these things. And they're all great, useful tools. And I'm sure you and I both use them, efficiently. But there's plenty of people out there that are replacing artificial intelligence with their own intelligence and thinking that you're going to be able to replace the basic fundamentals and, chasing other shiny objects. So, just another reminder that come up with a basic plan, whether this is something for you or whatever. There's like I said, 8 different pillars of things that generate business, and whatever it is, make it work for you and just stick to the basics. And it's like our 100 days, 100K program. It's premised off the rule of 100, just doing something over and over and over to the point of it being laborious. Like I said, I took 3 hours to do all these New Year's things, and it's like, man, it was really time consuming, but it's part of the plan. It's part of it, whether it's cold calling or doing all that monotonous stuff you don't like to do. That's it. That's all it is. It's just fundamentals.
Yeah. I could really take this same exact thing and I could change out agent referrals, and I could make it how to get referrals from your past clients.
Yeah.
It's almost the exact same thing. It's just a lot of people just don't think about it. Like they're not intentional about action.
Well, it's almost like it's not complicated enough.
No.
Yeah, I
It's too
mean,
easy.
it's not a shiny object. It's just basic.
It's too easy, man. It's too easy.
Right.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
easy. All right. So what do you do when you actually get a referral, right? So if we get a referral and we take care of them, we're going to get more. So first of all, in this photo, you can tell it's summer. I'm red-faced and sunburned. This happens in Seattle for 4.5 days throughout the year, and I get sunburned for all 4 of them somehow. So, so the first thing you need to do is immediately when you get tagged in a referral, you need to initiate immediate contact with the sending agent. Now, I don't mean like I'm going to comment back. I mean, you get your ass and you find their phone number and you call them. Don't wait. Look, here's the thing. If you and me both get tagged in a post in the Seattle market, I'm going to phone that person in the first 2 minutes. So if you leave a little comment and you're like, "Hi, Jason, I would love to help your super sweet buyers relocating." I'm already
When's your DM?
I'm already on the phone with them and I've already won.
Yeah.
Next thing is thank all your advocates. Now, this might not be able to be done immediately. Like if I jump on it real quick and only get 1 tag, I can do that pretty quickly. But a lot of times there's 40 or 50 of them. So it takes some time, but don't forget to go back and thank them. Again, I think a 15-second, "Hey, Jason, thank you so much for thinking of me on this referral." Dude, it means the world that every time you see something in Seattle that you not only think of me, but you actually take the time to tag me. I appreciate you, brother. Guys, that goes wildly far.
Sure.
Wildly far. But you have to record the video. That's just like you pick up the phone, you put it in front of your face, and you say the things. If you don't want to do video, here's what I can tell you. If you don't like how you look and you don't like how you sound, here's the cheat code. Ready? That's how you look, and that's how the fuck you sound. It's not going to change. When you meet these people, they're going to hear you the same way. You're still going to look the same way. Just get over it. Call the referral within 5 minutes. Don't play. As soon as that agent gives you the referral, get on the phone with them. Make a connection right away. Show that you're responsible. This is not a one-time thing. We're trying to earn more and more business. We're trying to surprise and delight our fellow brokers. Once I'm done, I immediately record another video and I send to that agent and I kind of recap our phone call and I thank them. It makes it more personal touch. I do the same exact thing for the client that I'm going to be meeting. I send them a video too because they're going to see me. So now they're going to have an opportunity to see my face, hear my voice, kind of already establish a little bit of a relationship before we ever get together. So we're at like 3 videos already and we've not even met somebody yet. Then we're going to place them in the CRM and set up our appropriate action plans. Again, I know people don't use the CRM like they need to. So if nothing else, like start utilizing that. When I say place in the CRM, I mean both people, both the agent that sent you the referral and the referral. Build out that action plan I talked about earlier for your agent advocates and attach this new person to them. In addition, if I tag them referring agent inside of Chime, it also creates an automatic call plan for me, Jason. So it has the same things it would for my already advocates, but then it also has pre-built in touch points for me to reach out to that agent and give them updates. Because what happens is you can do everything in the world the best, but if people don't hear from you directly, they assume you're doing nothing.
Right.
That's how people are. So, and then place the client on the same exact plan. Next thing, sit down at your desk, pull out a couple little cards, 3 to 5 sentences, send out a handwritten card to the agent that sent it to you and the client you're going to be meeting. Blue ink, that's like the right ink to use. 3 to 5 sentences, simple, mail it out. It's another special touch. When I meet the client, let's say I go to meet, here's Stormy, for example, in this photo, right? After I met Stormy, we took this picture, but then right afterwards, the agent that sent me to her from Idaho, we filmed a video right there. So me and Stormy and Christopher literally were like, "Hey, John, just let you know that we all got together. We appreciate you making the connection. It's so nice to have somebody from my tribe help me grow my tribe. I cannot wait to work with them. We'll see you soon. Then we all say, like, bye, John. Again, it's little shit.
Yep.
It matters. Now, whenever you close this transaction, you're going to give your client a closing gift. I think everybody pretty much does closing gifts. The one thing that I want you to shift it from is there's an agent referral. It's not just from you. Now it's, here's the custom bottle of Maker's Mark from me and Jason.
Yep.
We're so happy to get to help you. Guys, this agent is a part of the whole thing. Trust me, if they start getting stressed out and they start having a hard time, they're probably going to reach out to the agent that they, got the referral from, because they've already have a pre-established relationship. So Don't be surprised if like your clients check in on you occasionally with the other agent, which is why it's good to have that communication. But make your closing gift from both of you. Super simple. The agent will appreciate it. And I will tell you, I make sure the agent knows it's from both of us. Like if I'm going to do something and I'm going to do a card, I'll be like, hey, Jason, I'm doing our closing gift, for Stormy. Is there anything special you want me to have written in the card from you? And they'll be like, hold on, what? You're like, yeah, man, we both did this together. This is our deal. So What does that look like? That's a good one. And then after you close, share the story to your network. When I close a referral from the real network, I post that back in the referral group and I tell the story of the clients. I brag on the agent. I do the same thing on Facebook, the same thing on Instagram. I just tell the story, and it's reaffirming that you can do what you say you can do. And people are listening because you're not talking about yourself. You're talking about Jason sending you the referral. You're talking about Stormy's path to finding a house. Like, you're bragging on other people. If you make it about you, no one's going to listen. But if you tell the story and that you're thankful to be a part of it, people are going to listen to you. So those are some things that you can do really just to make sure that when you get a referral, you're going to get a bunch more. And if you'll notice, guys, none of it's expensive. You don't need Client Giant. You don't need so-and-so company. You just need your CRM, some pins, and your cell phone. So like I said, you need to master your CRM in this. You got to have campaigns built out for both agents and for clients, right? You've got to automate what can be automated, but you need to keep things personal that need to be personable. You can't just not call people. You need to actually get on the phone and call them. Don't send them automated stuff that doesn't need to be automated. As I mentioned before, I'm super big on having a call plan, and that's obviously for the referring agent, which for me, it's usually once a week on Friday. I'll call any referrals I've got and just give them a quick update. And honestly, it's nice to have a little 5-minute phone call with their agent and say, hey, Jason, man, how are things going in Florida? Like, it's a nice break from prospecting in general.
Right.
My call plan for the clients that I get, I have an A, B, C, and D call plans. And so they're spaced out. So A call plans is every day, then once a week, then, once every 2 weeks, once a month, and then once a quarter. So I put them immediately all in A, and we're going to town on it. Now, if they're like, hey, we want to use you, but we're not going to sell for 8 months, I'm probably going to put them in like C and call them once a month. I don't need to call someone every day for 6 months. So use that appropriately. Like I mentioned earlier, add them to your marketing plan. So make sure they are seeing what you're putting out on Facebook. Make sure they're getting those newsletters. Make sure they're getting handwritten cards. Make sure they're getting the Christmas video messages and the New Year's messages, and add them to everything, both the agent and the client. You got anything on this one?
No, man. Pretty straightforward. I mean, just like I said, it's the same thing as working on clients. It's all the same stuff. Is that CRM Grow I see?
This one is Chime.
This one's Chime. Okay, cool.
I do use CRM Grow for agent attraction. Okay. But I'm not putting that up here because that would be we're not talking about that today. That's another subject I'd be happy to chat about sometime, but yeah, want to make sure I'm in the right room. Right. So the next thing I'll talk about is like using your celebrity or your local influence to stay in front of people. I've already talked about getting a hall pass. I love putting that on there because every time I taught this live, people are like, And I'm like, y'all are some dirty people. Every time. Your head did not go where I was going with that, so I just left it up there. But obviously, you want to get in front of people in many ways as possible. So all of my content traditionally on social media and YouTube is hyper local. So I talk about Tacoma and I talk about Seattle a lot. You're never going to see me be like, here's the 3 steps to buying a home the first time. And I'm like dancing and pointing at shit. Yep. Everything I do is, here's a cool new restaurant located in downtown Seattle. Here's the best date night place in Everett, Washington. I'm putting stuff out there that's just always a reminder of where I'm at. And it's also reminding you that I'm the local expert.
It's all just value given. There's no selling at all. You have nothing to sell. It's just value. And, it's kind of like, if I build it, they will come.
Right. And YouTube has been great because I've had several agents where people have pushed back and they've been like, well, I don't know. Like I might still, look at people. And I'm like, they'll send my YouTube channel and people will watch 30 to 40 minutes of content. And they'll be like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. I like him. I wish he didn't say fuck so much, but I like him. We'll go with
that.
So look, and guys, I'm going to do a quick plug here for YouTube. If you're not doing YouTube, you're absolutely missing out. Absolutely missing out. When I get done making my phone calls at the end of the day, those phone calls are done. But when I go to the real estate video blueprint here in a couple of weeks and I'm gone for 4 days, YouTube is still showing my content to everyone.
Yep.
When I'm on the beach on vacation, YouTube is still showing my content to everyone. Like it is I think one of the fastest way to become one of the fastest ways to move from being self-employed to being a business owner. It prospects for you even when you're not actively out prospecting. So yep. I could go for hours and hours. Cassandra Marks has been kind of her accountability buddy, and she started just straight up like R&Ding every video of mine. And by her 4th one, she just picked up a $2.1 million buyer from Utah. They're flying to Vancouver today, and they plan on writing an offer. So, 82 subscribers, made videos for 14 weeks. She's gonna make what, 35 grand?
Yeah.
Cakewalk.
Yep.
Next is target agents on social media. Now, I know we've heard a lot of people say like, whoa, don't mix clients and agents, real estate sales and agent attraction. It's not good. But here's the thing, guys. Think about this. Like, so if you have somebody managing your money, right? And you trust them with all of your savings, my fire department, pension, everything, right? They're managing all that. And I hop on social media and I see my financial advisor on a stage and he's speaking to 65 other financial advisors and he is teaching them better ways to help people manage other people's money. Do you think I trust him more or less? Right?
And more, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of times like this won't reach our audience. Clients are gonna yada yada. No. So first of all, a couple things. One, social media is a dog whistle. If it's not your thing, you're not gonna see it. If you're super left-wing Democrat, you're not probably seeing a bunch of pro-Republican stuff on social media. Right. Like think about that. Like social media directs us to the things that we're already interested in.
Yep.
So it's a dog whistle. So don't be afraid of it. And 2, don't trade value and relationships for a fucking algorithm. People are more important. I would rather Jason know that I give a shit about him than I would to get 12 more likes.
Yep.
And my last point, do big things together. I'm on here with Jason right now. We're doing this together. We can reach more people. We can make a bigger impact. When Jason thinks about Seattle, he's going to think about me. So we're doing things together. My buddy Kenan and I, we hold 2 training classes every month. One in my market up north, one in his down south in Olympia. And guess what? You better bet your butt, because we're together all the time, we pass things back and forth. Same goes for me and Mike Novak. Anybody that I collaborate with, start collaborating with people. You'll build your network, you'll establish relationships, and you don't have to go it alone. This is already a super lonely industry. Like we're already in a place where we're just feeling kind of left out in the cold. So,
something that's interesting on that, Austin, is like, just don't be afraid to ask questions.
Right.
Like, have you ever been reached out by somebody and you've never answered their question?
No.
You have zero problem answering somebody's question, right?
Yeah.
I have zero problem answering somebody's question. Obviously, I'm in coaching now, whereas I wasn't before, but it wouldn't have been any different, right? Don't ever be afraid to just seek it out and get in the right rooms. And the quickest answer you may get is no, but I can promise you most likely won't get that. There's plenty of us out there that want to provide value. You just got to be willing to ask. So don't be afraid to do that. As they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And there's just massive amounts of value out there. And that's it. There's some people that have been a part of our network in the past and no longer are. And I sought some people out to see if they'd be interested in doing anything with us. And I asked. They could have said no, but I asked, right? And the answer was yes. Or if I didn't ask, how would I ever know? It's that simple, right? So don't be afraid to ask questions. We're all here to help each other. And there's massive value out there. And what he's doing out there and what we're doing down here may not be the same, but there's some sort of cohesion or overlapping, and you can take a little bit of pieces of this and just put all the nuggets together and build something great. So just don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, I think that's there's we have an 85% fail rate like every 2 years.
Yeah.
And the main reason why I've not been that number is because I've put myself in proximity to people who are better than me all the time.
Yep.
I literally just find someone who's doing better at me than something, and I just latch on. And I've never felt bad because I've got kids to feed.
Yeah, so, right.
Part of it's pride. I think a lot of these ask questions because they're prideful. They can see something working and they're not going to reach out because they don't want to look weak. I guarantee you, I would look vulnerable and weak and make $500,000 than be working at Kohl's.
Yeah. I mean, when we were in our prime in Northern New York running our team, and I say this and it's kind of cheesy, but everybody wanted to know what Jason was doing, but nobody wanted to know what Jason was doing.
Yeah.
And it's thing is I would have had the conversation, but most people just would never ask. It's just fascinating. So yeah, pride gets in the way. Ego, I think ego is the bigger play for sure. And there's more egos in this industry, I think, than any. So yeah, you gotta put that shit to the side for sure.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for jumping on. Here's my little QR code again. If you want to reach out to me, here's all my information. That's literally my personal cell phone number. That's not like a weird call 10 thing or whatever. If you want to text me. If you have questions about this, feel free to reach out to me. There's my email. Like most agents, I'm terrible at checking my email. So I have a person to help me with that. But and that right there, it'll give you all my social media, my phone number, everything. It'll send me your contact card. We can be friends and we can learn together and do some really, really cool stuff. So that's all I got for today.
Yeah, just as I said, don't be afraid to reach out to Austin. He's obviously got a wealth of information on this, and it's something that I don't think a lot of people really have it figured out. And it's something that, if you don't have a lot of resources, a lot of it's just work. Put the work in, some fundamental stuff. Imagine if you reached out to him, he probably could help you with some communications that he utilizes and be fully transparent on that stuff. And so again, as I said earlier, just don't be afraid to ask. We'll end up having this as a replay later today too. So if you missed the event today, which I know a lot of people chime in, chime out. So we'll do this, rebroadcast it later today. We'll do it at 5 p.m. today, actually. So if you missed it, we'll rebroadcast this. If you missed it in any nuggets that you want to learn more about, certainly send me a DM. Austin's information, his phone number is on the screen here. And then, of course, if you scan the QR code, just don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions. So
yeah, I'll probably rewatch it and pick it apart myself.
Yeah, always a pleasure, dude. No, it was great stuff. I've been wanting you on here for a while to talk about this. It's something that I've followed you for a while, and was pretty intrigued by how you've done it. I don't think anybody is doing it like you're doing it. So it's pretty cool to see. So always neat to see something different. So I appreciate that. And hopefully the weather gets a little better in Seattle for the next 9 days other than rain, which we all know that it's not.
This is our weather.
Yeah. I don't think it's rained in like 90 days here. So, oh, man.
Well, dude, I appreciate having me. Happy to hop on here and chat about any of the 4 things I'm good at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And if there's some more content we can share down the road, we'll be happy to have you on. So, again, appreciate it. Again, Jason Smith, Realty F, Austin with Real Broker out in Seattle, Tacoma. Again, appreciate you guys, and we'll be in touch on the next show.
Sounds good.
All right, guys.
Later, y'all.